nation is now the ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into my favorite radio. If you only knew the power of God's
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now tuned into my favorite radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Welcome to Lightsaber Radio, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mark. I'm one of the hosts. I have been a Star Wars fan since the cradle, literally. Star Wars came out 2 months after I was born in 1977, and so that was the first movie I went to see in theaters. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I will pass it off to Miss Charlie.
Hi everybody, I'm Charlie, I'm 26, I'm from England, if you couldn't tell by my accent. I am a lifelong Star Wars fan. My mum gave me a copy of Phantom Menace on VHS when I was 9. I was sold.
My name is Garrison. I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. My dad loves Star Wars and he kind of raised me following his footsteps, so thank him for that.
My name is Kyle. I am the host of Star Wars Audio Archives, and I love Star Wars. I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. I was also born in 1977, a little bit later than Mark. I'm a little bit younger than he is. But I'm a super Star Wars fan, and on the other podcast, we talk about the books. And I thought, let's start a new podcast with some other great Star Wars fans and talk Star Wars. So that's what we're here to do.
So he does the books. Here we do everything else, and sometimes the books.
Most of the discussions that we're going to be talking on here is news, rumors, whatever Star Wars content is out, and that's the Bad Batch, because that's what's out right now. So we're going to be talking a whole lot about the Bad Batch and a lot of things that's going on in the Star Wars galaxy.
If it says Star Wars, we do it.
Oh yeah. What's been going on in Star Wars news then, guys? Fill me in. Fill me in.
Oh, Carrie Fisher got her star on the Walk of Fame finally, post-mortem.
Oh, how can they do that? How are they gonna wait till she's dead to put her on the Walk of Fame? Like, she should have been had her star. Everybody else has their star. They gonna wait till she dies. She can't even enjoy her own star. I don't like that.
Exactly. They had to wait until after she died. It has been way too long. Come on, when did her movies come?
I am more disappointed that Gary doesn't get to go and see her star. That's the real crime.
Oh, this is terrible. They gonna wait. Princess Leia does not have her. She's just now getting her star. She was a star long before they even had the Walk of Fame. How long has the Hollywood Walk of Fame been around?
Oh, it's been around long enough to have Weird Al Yankovic have his own star on the Walk of Fame. True story.
Oh, man,
How does he have one but not Carrie Fisher? What is this? Like, don't get me wrong, he's great, but come on.
Hollywood is anti-Star Wars. They don't like George Lucas in Hollywood.
Even though he's made them trillions in money, literally trillions of money, trillions amounts of money. Yeah. But what's really outrageous, and we discussed this previous, and we'll discuss it again briefly, is about the apparent overall misogynistic tendencies of Hollywood. What with all that's been going on with the ladies' film and screen over the last 50 years being largely ignored, or in this case, ignored until after they're passed away.
I just don't think that's right. How you gonna give it to her after she dies? She can't even go look at her star and say, I got my own star. I did something great.
Well, it's okay. She's looking down from Endor and she sees it.
What else do we got here? Luke Skywalker's X-Wing made it to the Space Smithsonian.
And Ewan McGregor, yeah.
That is the best news. I'm sorry. If you've ever been in the Space Smithsonian, it's amazing. Like, I love planes, I love looking at all that. And the fact that Star Wars has made it into history, like, I'm going to take my kids there one day and be like, this was the Battle of Endor. This was a very important time in our history. You know, this is great.
Although I really think that it's his second generation X-Wing that we saw later at the end of Empire and in Return of the Jedi that's actually getting in, because the X-Wing that he flew in A New Hope had no color except steel gray. And this one has streaks of orange with the symbols of the Alliance and stuff like that. And the
whole
orange around
ass
the
end of
tongue.
it is orange on this picture that I'm looking at. I'm like, that's not like,
It doesn't look
I don't
the
know if
same,
it's just
no.
some random picture they put on there or whoever wrote this post. I'm like looking at it. I know that they're saying that they're going to completely restore it back to its original thing because, you know, who knows how many places this thing has been at over the years. But yeah, they said that they're going to completely restore it, and it was donated to them by Lucasfilm Ltd.
Okay, I've got to circle back to the Hollywood Walk of Fame for a moment. Looking here at the Browsing the Stars page on there, Harrison Ford is on there, rightly so, but he's on there twice. Under the A's, Harrison Ford, and in parentheses, silent film actor.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
What?
then you just said Ewan McGregor just got on there too. Like, how
Well,
did
yeah, Ewan McGregor and Carrie Fisher and Macaulay Culkin, the star of the batch, pun intended, all inducted this month.
But I don't like, how is Ewan McGregor just getting on there now? He has the most iconic
A crime.
thing in the history of time.
A crime.
Everybody says hello there.
Disgusting.
Everybody does it. Everybody. Like, not even people that don't even like Star Wars fan will reference us. Hello there. You know, and they put the little kick to it and everything like he did in Star Wars. People don't even like Star Wars usually. And he's just now getting on the Walk of Fame. The prequels came out years ago.
People mistake him for Jesus. Like, come on.
As a cosplayer who used to have Tinder, I cannot express to you the amount of times random guys would send me the hello there gif in an attempt to start a conversation.
Oh, wow.
Too much.
I don't know how that was for you. I don't know how that was for you, but if someone messaged me like that, we're getting married. I don't care.
See, one was fine. 15 in a day, too much. Too many. Not funny anymore. Not funny.
That is terrible. Let's see, what else do
Don't
we
use
got
Star
for
Wars
news?
pickup lines, guys. Don't do it.
What else we got for the news?
Well, thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. So,
Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. Oh, there's something I want to bring up. Have y'all seen the Rogue Squadron teaser on YouTube? Anybody seen it yet?
I have seen it.
Is it the
and
animated one?
No, it's a movie. It's a movie by
Like the director
Kevin Feige.
Wonder Woman
Isn't that his movie,
1984.
Kevin Feige.
No, it's the
It's the director from Wonder Woman.
directing
Taika Waititi?
Rogue Squadron. Yeah.
No.
Wow, man, what's her name? I forgot what her name is. I just had it up a second ago.
Yeah, now Rogue Squadron is supposed to be coming out in Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins. That's it.
But it's supposed to be coming out in 2023, and the teaser was okay, but I'm a little curious if who they're going to get to play a young Wedge Antilles. And fun fact, Wedge Antilles is the son of Captain Antilles, who originally owned R2D2 and C3PO after Bail Organa had their minds wiped.
That's
But yeah. Do you think that Squadron movie will be any good?
I didn't really get into the books. Like, I think I listened to like one of them and I was like, all right, this is just, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a good book, but it didn't catch my interest enough to read the other ones.
Right.
Cause like, I guess the Alphabet Squadron, there's like two, and then in the original one, I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't Rogue Squadron. It was another one of the Squadron books. There was like 9 of them or something like that.
I read them and they were fair. Basically, it was the same story, just on a different planet. Hey, let's go over here and fight this Star Destroyer. Hey, let's go over here and fight this Admiral. Or hey, let's go over here and fight this splinter of the Empire. And there was no continuity to it, and I'm afraid that it's going to be kind of that way with like the High Republic novels.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So far, I've listened to 2 of them, I think. I think there's 2 out now. I've listened to 2 of them. And I like the High Republic because it's old Jedi. You know, it's like back in the High Republic when the Jedi were powerful. I like the things that they're bringing up. Now, I don't know about the bad guys in this because it's like they're not Sith, they're the Nihil, whoever these people are. And I know that it's going to be important, but I'm guessing this is the time period when the Sith, like after Bane had like created a rule of 2 and there wasn't like the Sith weren't really around like that no more type of the era from what I'm getting. I'm not positive that that's when it is, but I don't know. I like the High Republic, but I just couldn't get into the Squadron books. I listened to like 1, maybe 2 of them, and they just, I don't know, they didn't catch my attention. They were kind of boring, and I don't really know much about it. So, but I'm hoping the movie is going to be great because, I mean, just looking at the preview, I think it didn't have a lot to do with Star Wars in the teaser trailer. It was more about her.
It's more of like Top Gun, but in a Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take.
Top Gun was badass, but.
I did want to take a minute
Sorry,
to say
Charlie.
that I really appreciate seeing more female directors. Patty Jenkins is the director's name. I appreciate seeing more female directors in sci-fi projects. Makes me happy.
Oh, absolutely. I
Because
mean,
particularly Star Wars itself is a very male-dominated industry.
Well, can you indulge me one thing? And as far as the whole female gender, I'm not trying to alienate them in any form or fashion. But can we please fire Kathleen Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay, every other female,
Yeah.
I'm
Gender
down
has
with.
nothing to do with that.
Gender has nothing to do with that at
Okay,
all.
thank you. So I have the permission of the lady on the show to fire Kathleen Kennedy. Thank you.
If this comes back to bite me in the ass and I lose my 1,500 followers, I'm done. I quit.
Well, the thing
me,
is,
it's like-
if they're Star Wars fans, they should be on board with you there.
Well, I just want a good director, whether it's male or female, but it is cool to see because like the sci-fi is not like, especially Star Wars, not a whole lot of females follow it. So it is cool to see a lot more females getting on board, especially a director. And so as long as she does a good job, I don't care, but that is cool to see. So yeah.
And I think the Mandalorian brought more female characters and directors and a lot more females in the industry over. And I'm happy that Disney did that, and I don't know if it was Kathleen Kennedy or if it was, Dave Filoni or John. I don't know who it was that did it, but I think they gave us a different way of seeing the story. They really did, because the Mandalorian episodes, you can tell the differences in directing styles by each one of the directors on there. And it made the show so much more. It just has so much more to offer when you get different directors in there to do each of it, because they put their little swing in it. And it's like, oh man, I would have never thought about doing that. So for them to do that, I think it was phenomenal. And I think they should do movies like that.
Yeah, and they were able to do it with different directors while still having it flow so well. So I think they did a great job with that, yeah.
I think that they should do movies like that. Like, get a director in there. Okay, this director does the first 15 minutes. The next director does this 15 minutes. The next director. I think that would be awesome, because the directing styles would like transform. It wouldn't just be what you're watching. Now the way that they direct and the way that they angle the camera and the way that they do every simple thing changes just a slight bit off of each director. And you're like, oh, and that's like you're watching the whole movie change.
Well, I think just want to say, to emphasize that point, Deborah Chow did, or Cho, I always mispronounce her name, but she did an amazing job whenever she directed her 2 or 3 episodes in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Mandalorian, Ming-Na Wen's also being inducted into the Hollywood Star Hall of Fame. That was the other Star Wars person that I couldn't remember. She also voiced Mulan in the original Disney movie. She is an absolute queen.
She should have gotten for that.
I know.
Mulan, let's go.
Did not peg you for a Disney fan, Garrison, but here we are. I love it.
Oh, dude, Disney's the best.
Disney is the best.
Until they bought Lucasfilm.
No.
That's true. They haven't done the best job. Their TV shows have been great, but their movies weren't as good as I would have liked.
I'm crying. Heartbroken. Don't do this to me, please.
Well, when I see, this is where the Star Wars is going to get down to the nitty gritty. Disney, like Garrison said, great for TV, not so much so for the movies. And we've all just been talking about kicking Kathleen Kennedy off the entire project. So she was Disney's handpicked.
You know who else we can kick off? Ryan Johnson. That's who we can kick off.
Yeah,
get him out.
Do that.
Go. Gone.
Hey,
How about this?
I was going to say it.
How about this? Instead of kicking off anybody, let's just find one person, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, 2 people, to write an actual sequel trilogy that makes sense. I don't care who you get to direct it, but have a continuation from start to finish, and give us the reasons why Rey is how she is. Don't just give us the female lead character trope. Don't just say this is what happened over here. Give us the meat and make it consistent.
Right.
Like I said, somebody explained it to me, the way that she is so powerful and she could do so much stuff, like with Bane. Bane explained it in the book kind of like a battery. So in this battery, you got so many people drawing from the dark side of the force that the battery is just being drained, so they can't be as powerful. Because I asked that question, like, this chick is like picking up giant boulders. She just had one lesson from Luke and she can do this. But
Well, Luke's a great teacher, dude.
and he didn't even teach her nothing. He didn't show her anything. She could do half that stuff before she even met Luke. But the fact of that there was only 2 Jedis. Well, you had Leia too, because Leia was what ended up being her master. But you had a very small portion drawing off of the light side battery, so it allowed her to be more powerful. The same thing that Bane explains in the books, that we got the Brotherhood of Darkness. There's so many Sith drawing off the dark side, it weakens everybody. So get rid of everybody. Now we got just me and an apprentice, and we're the only 2 drawing off the dark side. So now we're getting a full blunt of the dark side. You can't have a bunch of people. So the same thing kind of applies when you only got Luke, Leia, and Rey. There's only 3 people that are actually drawing off of the light side of the Force. So now you got way more power.
Here's my take on
Quick
that
question
one.
for you, circling back to the whole Rogue Squadron thing. Has it been confirmed yet if Felicity Jones is going to be doing Urso in the Rogue Squadron movie?
What time period is it set in? Where's it set?
The only information I didn't even know they was coming out with it till the other day. Like I seen like inserts and it popped up and I was like, oh man, what the hell is this? Honestly, I didn't even know about it. Like I've seen stuff on like the news, Rogue Squadron, but like I said, I'm not really into the Squadron books and stuff like that. So figured it was just another, rumor, this is gonna be another movie. There's so many rumors out there about different movies coming out that I didn't really take it that serious until I seen the official teaser the other day, and I was like, oh, this is really a movie. They really coming out with this movie. And I was like, okay. So that's when I was like, I started looking at, but I don't really know too much. I just seen the teaser. I haven't really looked into it a whole lot.
According to Gamers Radar, there's kind of like, I guess, rumors that it's going to be like hundreds of years before the movie. So maybe like Old Republic era, which could be a good idea because then you kind of get different spins on spaceships instead of the X-Wings that everybody's seen. So that might be a good idea.
But that's kind of weird because Rogue Squadron wasn't even in existence until like at the end of Rogue One. They were christened because they were the squadron that stole the plans of the Death Star.
That's a good point. That was just a rumor that I saw, but I kind of agree with what you said, Mark.
If they want to have elite squadrons and stuff like that, I mean, I'm here for it. But if it's going to be set in different time periods, make them unique to that time period. Like during the Clone Wars, we had the Jedi Starfighters, which were really the precursors to the TIE Fighters. And you saw that evolution.
That would make perfect sense. I just seen that. And I was like, this is actually a movie? I thought this was like a rumor, because there's so many rumors. Just like Brian Johnson he's doing a trilogy. That's been going back and forth for rumors. And then the other day I seen a post that he actually got the okay to do these 3 movies. So I'm like, I hope he better do something that's like really great because he messed up The Last Jedi. And I can't really blame it on him because
he should have stuck with the Transformers.
I can't really blame it all on him because it's basically he directs what the writers write, and I know he had some help in writing it, but I can't blame it just on him. It was a team effort that ruined that movie because it could have been way better. They could have done that movie way better than they did. And it kind of left us in just a real dark space. Like, what? Okay, what's going on? So like when there's been a lot of rumors that he did it on purpose.
Well, I saw something the other day that, and I'm gonna go with the way that Luke was portrayed here. One as the grumpy old Jedi, and then 2, a reason why he could be crossing over from like canon and EU with the effect of having Mara Jade coming in shortly into canon. Whenever Ben Solo burns the temple and all that, he kills Mara Jade, who is actually Luke's wife, which will be one of the reasons why that he'll be old and grizzled. But one thing that I like to think that could be happening is the introduction of the truly gray Jedi, the ones that sit astride the fence between light and dark. But whoever wrote, they didn't do a good job of explaining why Luke was just old and just defeated.
And that was the biggest problem. Like, I'm not going to sit back and say I didn't like the movie. It's Star Wars. I'm going to like the movie. I watched it multiple times. I'm not going to sit back and say I hated the movie. I just think that they could have done a better job there was very boring parts in the movie. It's just like, this is like not really fun at all. Like, when you think about Star Wars, it's almost, even in the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, there's like always something going on. This is what I would say. The pacing of the movie was off. It didn't pace well. So it left you in these dry spots where you're just like, all right, man, is like something gonna happen? Cause I don't want to watch this no more. And then all of a sudden something would finally happen and you're like, okay, now and then it kind of got boring again. So, and they didn't explain a lot. I mean, at least in The Force Awakens, the title told you what was happening. Like, so somebody, the Force is gonna pop up. The good side has to pop up because right now the dark side is, something was gonna happen anyway. It was going to put it in preference. The Force needed to come from somewhere. So they showed you the protagonist and right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? You had Rey and you had Ben right off the bat. So they put you right into a situation so you kind of knew what was happening. Mm-hmm. So it explained, it didn't like leave you in a sense of like, okay, now what's going on? And that's how the last Jedi was. It just left you like, okay, what's going on, man? Okay, we already seen The Force Awakens, so we know who these people are, but it's like, what is really going on, man? Like, you guys just drop.
Like, where's this story going?
Yeah, where's this? What's happening? And that was the problem. The movie itself it's not a bad movie. I'm not gonna sit back and just hate on it completely because it's not a terrible movie. It just wasn't a good movie. It was just like, it was almost like a filler episode of The Mandalorian or like The Bad Batch or something like that, or Clone Wars. Like, it's just a filler. It's just like leading you to the next part.
Well, if it was a standalone movie, hey, all well and good, but there was nothing in it or very little in it that helped move along the storyline. It was just like a bunch of disjointed, it was a bunch of round pegs and square holes.
I've said it once and I'll say it again.
Say it again.
The Last Jedi on its own is a beautiful film. It's visually stunning, it's emotional, it's moving. The minute you try and tie it into the trilogy and subsequently the rest of the Star Wars films, it falls to pieces. Right, Johnson deliberately wrote it so that it would be impossible to follow. Mm-hmm. He said that in interviews several times, that he deliberately screwed it over for JJ and the team who took on The Rise of Skywalker because he made it impossible to follow. Mm-hmm. So The Rise of Skywalker was basically the best they could manage, and we should be thankful.
Why was he not ostracized from directing anything ever again? Whenever you screw over George and the universe, you need to be Gina Carano'd.
I mean, but you still got to go back and look at his directing skills. Because the Transformers, they're amazing movies.
He's not a bad director.
What did he direct, though? A bunch of people saying point and click here because it was 90% CGI. What do you direct with CGI?
Can we also take a minute to include the nearly 45 minutes of deleted scenes from The Last Jedi, which are some of the weirdest things I have ever seen?
I refuse to watch them for that reason.
It's all just fart jokes. Fart jokes and fat jokes, that's it. What is he doing?
Well, I mean, and I read an article that said that he deliberately did it because he basically said, if I can't direct all three of them.
Exactly.
He didn't want to direct that one, but I don't know the issue with Kathleen and JJ, why JJ directed the first one and then didn't direct the second one and then directed the third one. I don't know the whole details behind that, but he wanted to do them all. They didn't let him do them all, so he intentionally made it. Like,
were Kennedy and JJ ever a thing, and he dumped her, and so she says, "Forget you. I'm gonna go get you. Go get your competitor." I mean, I don't know. There's some kind of angst going on.
I think it was like day before. I have the Star Wars app that brings up all the Star Wars news on my phone, and I seen something that said that he's okay. Rian Johnson's going to direct 3 Star Wars movies, a whole trilogy. And I was like, all right, is this one? Because I know it's been said before, but this was like official. It was like Disney officially released Ryan will be directing a trilogy. And I'm like, okay, is this true, or is it just one of the rumors? Because anybody can write on there, officially Disney releases. So I didn't ever find out. I didn't ever go research it to see whether or not it was true. They've been saying it since the end of Rise of Skywalker. As soon as the end of Rise of Skywalker, Ryan's going to be doing a trilogy. So I don't know if it's actually set into fact. I never really looked it up. I mean, I hope if he does that he redeems himself for Star Wars, because got to do something better than The Last Jedi.
Well, it can't get much worse. Okay, how about the Bad Batch? Let's go to something good.
Something good.
So, Charlie, you said that you're trying to get caught up on things?
Yes, myself, I am behind on the Bad Batch, and I've just finished episode 2, but I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing so far.
Oh,
really enjoying.
Behind, 'cause we don't,
I
just
know.
Came out.
I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan.
All right, so since we ain't gonna do no spoiler alerts or anything like that, since we don't want to spoil it for Charlie, what do you think of the overall series on what you've seen so far, Charlie?
I'm really enjoying it. Visually, it's beautiful. There's been a huge step up in animation from the earlier seasons of Clone Wars, from the movie that we don't talk about. I know I like the movie as well, but it's still no, it's beautiful and interesting to watch, and it's fun, and there's some really good jokes in there. Really good jokes. Wrecker, the big guy, I think I'm getting that right.
Yep.
He's hilarious. 10 out of 10. I love it.
Well, he just can't go 10 minutes without blowing something up.
I love that.
Which I'll revisit whenever you see episode 8 because it's hilarious.
I also really love the story trope of one small child and 5 dads who didn't want to be dads but are now definitely being dads.
It's the Mandalorian in reverse.
No.
I agree. It's something we've seen before.
But Omega's so adorable.
You had the Mandalorian. He had a kid. He found a kid. He takes on the kid. Now you got the Bad Batch. It's 5 guys taking on a kid. It's like, all right, we've seen this story before.
Yeah, like in the 90s with Tom Selleck and Steve Guttenberg, 3 Men and a Little Lady.
That's a gorgeous film. I love her.
The thing that gets me, though, that's bothered me so much about the whole thing is it's called the Bad Batch. Why are they not bad guys? They should be hunting down the Jedi.
They don't seem like bad guys at all.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen like some bad guys, hunting down Jedis. We haven't seen an elite squadron of, we haven't seen that before, and that's something that I think a lot of Star Wars fans would want to see. But instead, they're just kind of following the same formula.
We kind of have with the Inquisitors, hunting down the Jedis, but we didn't get us in Rebels.
We didn't get a no show for that.
Well, yeah, we didn't have a whole show for it, and it was only bits and pieces. And they would come in the middle of an episode, and then they would hunt down Kanan and Ezra, and then they'd go back and Ahsoka, and then you wouldn't see them again, and then they'd pop up in another one. They're getting closer, but it was never like that's the show, and that's what I thought it was going to be. I'm like, this is an elite set of clones. They're going to come out here. They're going to be hired directly to go out and kill the Jedi, the remaining Jedis that escaped Order 66. When they first started previewing the show, I knew that that's what it was going to be about. And I was so excited. And in the very first episode there, they just had me like, what? They taking a kid? What's going on? What's happening here? This is not what I thought this was going to be. And it kind of I was shocked because I'm like, dude, this is not like, you guys are making the Mandalorian again. Now there's 5 Mandalorians taking on a kid instead of just one. Like it's the same storyline.
I want to see some rated R Star Wars, but but because now it's been bought by Disney, I don't think that's going to happen ever. I don't think we're ever going to get bleeding limbs and exploding bodies and all of that. I want that. I want visceral, aggression and violence.
Well, the thing about those, you're never going to see it because they're trying to get 6 to 14-year-olds, the next generation, to come into love Star Wars.
But they can do that with the cartoons. They can do that with the cartoons. And see, that's what I think.
Well, that's what the Bad Batch
6 to 14, they could do it with all the animations, all the cartoons and stuff. They can do it with that. They could bring them into Star Wars and then make the movies for us adults. We're the ones paying the money to go see it.
True.
If we want our kids, if I want to take my 13-year-old to go see an R-rated movie, I have the right to do that. I'm his father. We're going to go see the Star Wars movie. They're chopping people's heads off and blood is squirting out. My son watches Machete. He's 13. Machete's like one of his favorite movies ever.
Whoa.
At first I was like, I hadn't seen it. He's the one that told me about it. I'm like, what are you watching? I'm watching this dude, you watched this? Oh, man. I think he was 10. I'm looking at him like, dude, you watched this? Who said it was okay for you to watch this?
I was still watching Teletubbies at 10. Damn.
Whoa. We're going to have therapy on that one now.
Don't you judge me for my television choices.
No. Just to make sure that you're okay. Okay, how about this? Teletubbies for you, not to get completely off topic. Did you ever see Barney?
Yes.
Yeah, we've all seen that.
And
Barney
and-
was terrible.
Charlie,
And
and
this is going straight over my head.
I don't get it.
well, if she's a Teletubbies fan, we need to know how far the depths.
Oh,
Rabbit hole
all of
goes.
it. Love it. All of it.
Okay. So in other words, you're really in on American TV, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When I was younger, you know, I got stuck watching because of my daughters.
SpongeBob.
No, that was that was all my kids watched SpongeBob. But the Powerpuff Girls, I used to like the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, that's good TV. It was good stuff.
I was like, man, these girls is dope, man. They beating up everybody, you know?
No.
So back to the Bad Batch.
Back to the Bad Batch, away from
We really got way
Teletubbies.
off of the subject.
Okay, so with a fresh take, because the rest of us were like on episode 8, fresh take for you there, Miss Charlie. Who do you think Omega is?
Good question.
With my somewhat limited knowledge of any kind of extended Star Wars or sort of, I don't know that much about Clone Wars. I know bits and pieces. I think she's Force sensitive. I think she's something to do with the Force, but I can't quite seem to figure out what. I may be completely wrong.
I agree with you.
Well, now it's funny. Kyle and I were talking at another time in another place, and I hit him out of left field with something that might actually turn your antenna sideways. I think Omega will turn out to be Rey's mom.
Really?
To keep everything kind of timeline going on, Palpatine, clones. Well, Omega is the only female clone, and we all think she's Force sensitive. You know, just throwing it out there.
Not to make this a weird topic, I thought the clones were sterile.
Actually, that's
I assumed
that's not true
that
because one of the Rogue clones, he married a Twi'lek on. Can't remember the name of that planet. But he has 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
And then Boba Fett has a daughter in the Legends timeline. In the Boba Fett trilogy, he has a daughter, and I think a couple other books that his daughter's in a couple of other books.
Yeah, because everybody's down with the
Color me
Fett.
corrected.
So,
But yes, I think.
But he's supposed to be an
Omega's Force sensitive.
and that's another thing. All the other clones is altered in some way. He said he's the only unaltered clone because I know that they have to make him grow up faster.
Right.
That's all explained in the Clone Wars, that they had to grow up fast, or even in the movie, the Clone Wars, they're explaining that they have to grow up faster and then they're trained and all that stuff very quickly so they could be sent out. Boba was the only one that was unaltered, so he didn't have no speed genetics. You know, he wasn't. So
does he have an inhibitor chip?
No. He was
Boba's like
unaltered.
just same as Jango.
That was one of the things that Jango wanted. He wanted a clone of his own, so basically his son. So he wanted an heir to his legacy.
Is that a bit narcissistic?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that?
I think it was just his way of having a son. I don't know.
Well, I mean, now, not to be genderist here, but most men want a son to carry on the family name. I mean, and that's just a fact of life. That's not being intentionally misogynistic, but that's the mindset of a guy. Hey, I want a son to carry on the family name and the family legacy. So, I mean, that may not be so much nowadays, but that's been the case for generations immemorial. So that could be the.
And I could agree with you on that, just for the simple fact that most of us name our sons after us. You know, how many guys have a name?
Is that an American tradition?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it's
actually, I think we got it from the
That's
English.
like a European tradition.
I think we got it from the British royals because how many
John the
Williams
First,
have
John the
there
Second,
been?
John
How
the
many
Third, John the
Johns,
Fourth.
how many-
Yeah.
And that's not trying to be insulting, but I mean that just is kind of the today's version of what the royal families were doing back in the day. I mean, if you go over to the MCU, it's even prevalent in Thor, because you're Thor Odin's son, Loki Laufey's son. I mean, everybody is always saying who their progenitor was in some form or fashion.
Speaking of taking names, how do people feel about the fact that Rey took the Skywalker name?
I was.
No.
this is my thing. At some point, everybody, well, after Luke found out that Vader was Anakin, like he didn't go tell everybody, hey, my dad's Darth Vader, you know, it kind of pretty much, he told Han and Leia, and he didn't tell everybody about it. Like he wasn't going around bragging, hey, Vader's my dad, I gotta go kill him. It wasn't something that he was doing. So I'm not mad at Rey because she didn't say, hey, you know, Palpatine's my grandpa, so, you know, she didn't want nobody to know, so she just said, hey, yeah, I ain't about to tell nobody that. This dude destroyed the universe. I'm not going to sit back and be, I'm Rey Palpatine.
Although, you know, that'd have been a very interesting springboard to the next trilogy.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think she's going to be part of it. I genuinely don't.
Honestly, I don't think that they're gonna continue much into the future.
Yeah, I think her journey's done.
I think they're gonna start going back to the old Republic stuff.
Yeah.
This is just my personal opinion. I don't know what they're gonna do. Nobody knows what Disney's gonna do. But I think that they're gonna go back towards the old Republic, bring back more of like the Sith Jedi Wars, the Jedi Mandalorian Wars, that type of stuff. There's a reason that Jon Favreau brought out the Mandalorian. There's a lot of references to the Mandalorian stuff in the Mandalorian, and I think that at some point that they got to go back to understand what's going on with Mandalore. Because like me and you discussed that day, Mark, we was talking about why would you want to go back to claim a planet that was destroyed? Like half the planet is missing. You know what I'm saying? And all the pictures you look at Mandalore, like half the planet is just missing, like it's just blown off.
Right, so, but there's so much stuff that's that is out there in Legends. I mean, you've got the Sea-Rook, you've got the Rouge-on Vong, you've got the Second Intergalactic Civil War, you can go back to the High Republic, you can go back to the Legends of the Sith. I mean, you can move forward or back because there's so much out there.
I actually clicked my thoughts on it, but it was like a what are they called, where you could like just put in like that was like check this or check this, what would you like to see type thing, a survey.
Survey?
There was a survey on what Star Wars fans like, and after you got done clicking through it, and I guess Disney,
you had to pay $10.99 to sign up on some website, right?
No, you didn't have to sign up on a website or something. It was something that clicked up on Facebook or something. I was looking at, so I clicked on it and it went to this survey, and it was basically asking Star Wars fans what type of movies they wanted to see. And most people clicked on, I think it was like, after I got done, it said like 89% of the people said the same thing that I said, that they want to see more Sith Jedi battles.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was a survey that they were using to find out, or if it was just somebody else doing it and they was going to send it off to Disney, or if it was something that Disney put out saying, okay, we need to figure out what the fans want to watch, because, you know, our movies did good, but we can't keep doing these same type of movies because, you know, they're not really doing well. So let's find out what the fans want to see.
More lightsabers.
Yeah, lightsabers.
More lightsabers.
And that,
so
we're going to get that.
Like, yeah, you go back before the rule of two, like, I think you can make some awesome movies.
They're idiots if they don't make Rev in a movie.
I know.
That's for sure.
But
I also think that's why they did the Mandalorian. It gives a perfect opening for the Mandalorian Wars and kind of like how Revan kind of became Revan, you know?
And see, that's what I'm thinking. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are smart, and they're fans. So with being big Star Wars fans, and they are at the helm of creating Star Wars, I think that they're going to go to the things that they like as well. And in many interviews, they both said that lightsaber battles is just the greatest thing ever. So I think that they're leading up to a Revan movie.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of rumors running around that somebody said that they were trying to cast Keanu Reeves to play Revan, and I was like, that would be dope, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah. But who would you pick?
I would pick Keanu Reeves if it was up to me.
So would I.
I just don't see that happen. I don't see Keanu Reeves going to play in a Star Wars movie. I just don't which I don't know, because the samurai stuff, but he's really into all that. So he might be like, yeah, this is dope, I'll do that.
Still got all that Matrix training.
Yeah, you know. And then some of it, like 43 Samurais or whatever that movie was. That movie was dope. I was like, this movie is dope.
21 Samurais.
Real quick, I want to go back on Star Wars being rated R. I think it should be rated R, but I don't think that they should put sex scenes in.
No.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed.
I don't think they should.
So PG-13 for gore, violence, and people getting partially cauterized by their heads being lopped off. Oh, wait a second. That happened in Attack of the Clones.
Well, see, that's what I don't get. In the original trilogy, it wasn't rated R, and they showed a big picture after Obi-Wan cut the dude's thing off cut his arm off in the cantina with his legs in it, and the blood hanging out of it and stuff.
Ooh.
And then they just stopped doing it. It was like, that was dope, man. Like, why? And I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I remember watching it, and I can remember I was like 3, 4 maybe, and it didn't bother me to see this blood and go on the ground. I was like, hey man, that's dope. He just chopped his arm off with a lightsaber. That's great. Which I didn't understand the blood and gore, and when I got older, I questioned it. Like, wouldn't it cauterize the wound as it chopped it off? You know, it's like a blazing sword of fire. Just chop this dude. There ain't gonna be no blood and guts hanging out of it. But that's just me. So, but I think that they should make it rated R. I don't see how you could make Revan. Well, it depends on how they write Revan. If it was me and I was directing Revan, I would use the book because the book explained everything. And they could literally, if they just use the book will explain almost everything, and it will bring something really, really good into the picture. You know, I just think that Revan is like the number one hit that they could do, and if they follow the book, then they can go back into the original Sith Empire and the original Emperor, and that Emperor was way doper than Palpatine. He killed the entire planet. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many people in there. It shows the Mandalorians, it shows what happened during the Mandalorian. It would just explain a whole bunch of stuff that they're kind of directing to in creating the Mandalorian and some of the other things that they're creating. I think it would be dope, and they could start it with the acolytes. So they put Revan as one of the acolytes. It would start right there, and they could. So,
which part of Revan's life would you want the movie to be off? Would you want it to be like what the book goes over, or like earlier, like during?
Oh, it's got to be a trilogy. It's got to be a trilogy.
It would have. Well, if they were going to do a standalone movie, I would say the book. They stick to the book, and then now if you're going to do a trilogy, you can go back before, go back with him and Malachor and
Dude, I think you could do 6 off of. You do a trilogy with the Mandalorian Wars and everything, and then another trilogy of the book.
Yeah, and they definitely could do it because the book is awesome. Like,
yeah, and there's a lot of stuff in the book that I think you could go into.
I think the biggest thing that worries me is this isn't necessarily a criticism of Disney, more so, just that particularly with Revan's story, and the further you go back into kind of the Star Wars history, the bloodier and the more violent it gets. And Disney, everything now is very soft. Like if you look at the prequels, there's a lot of really dark content in there. Like Hayden Christensen does a fantastic job of portraying this deeply kind of mentally unhinged character, and they're dark and gritty and emotional, and I feel like the sequels lost a lot of that massively. And it's Disney softening the content so it's more available and accessible for younger people, but you can't do that to characters like Revan. But you can't.
It's true. That's a solid point. Yeah.
So somebody was mentioning a minute ago about what the fans want to see and things of that nature. Like I know we've been talking about Revan and been talking about like the whole Mandalorian Civil Wars and Wars against the Jedi. But being as we are lightsaber radios, I just threw a link up in the chat, and I think we should also figure out which color our lightsaber would be.
I can tell you now, I don't need a quiz.
Oh, no, it's not a quiz. We can announce it next episode. What all our meetings are.
Right, next episode we can announce it and we're good to go. I think I can already tell you, but yeah,
Mark,
that'll be a good little thing. We tell each, like every episode, we share a little bit about what we would be or how we would lean if we were in the Star Wars galaxy.
We already know what Charlie's is.
And see, we already know that his name is Darth Kyle, so you know.
And yeah, Mark, you think me, a Star Wars fan, doesn't know what the colors mean?
No. I'm just saying. I just want to have everybody have all the options involved. All the options. Actually, for Charlie, I think that since she's a Teletubby fan, she's going to have a rainbow saber. And that's absolutely amazing. I
mean, it is Pride Month.
This is true. This is true.
No,
I mean, hey, we are LGBTQIA plus friendly, so.
That's what we like to hear.
I love everybody that loves stereo Star Wars. I don't care what you do.
There you go.
Agreed.
or actually, Kyle, since he's the pronounced Sith among us, he's an equal opportunity destroyer.
Yeah, I'll kill you regardless of what you are.
I love that. I love that so much.
Oh, mate. So. I know that you said
we kind of got off the Bad Batch there. I didn't.
Yeah, we kind of strayed off, and I was going to bring it back for 1 second. So you think that Omega is force sensitive, and we know that this trope has been done over again, which has kind of led down our rabbit hole. But on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the first 2 episodes?
I'd give them like a solid 7. That's 7.5. I'm really enjoying myself.
Oh, and I enjoy it because it is Star Wars, and I enjoy all things Star Wars. Since I'm a little more jaded, I would probably go about a 6.5-ish, 6.5, just because I want a fresh new idea in the Star Wars universe, and I think that's probably where my jading is coming in. Garrison, what about you, brother?
See, it's hard. If I'm looking at it, or like through my critical Star Wars gaze, it's gonna be like a 5 or 6. But if I'm looking at it like as a show, I'm not bringing my pre-Star Wars judgment on it, because I judge Star Wars a little bit harsher because I love it so much.
Yup.
I'd probably do like more like an 8. You know.
Y'all ain't true Star Wars fans. What's wrong with y'all? It's a 10. The Star Wars, dog.
All of it is a 10. All of it.
Oh, okay. So we know Kathleen Kennedy is paying him now.
I would give it a strong. I would give it a strong 7-8. The animation on it is just. Is great.
God, the animation is
The animation's fantastic.
chef's kiss.
It's beautiful, the animation compared to what we grew up on, Mark. You got a stick figure with a lightsaber.
Now, I do like the fact that in episode 1 they had Caleb Doom in it. That to bring that full circle between him and whenever Kanan dies in Rebels. So they brought it full circle. I did like that.
My favorite scene was Omega when she walks out of the ship in episode 2 and she's enchanted by the dirt on the ground because she's never seen dirt or the sky or plants, and the lighting.
They created that beautifully because
the lighting is.
Oh, and how about that's the first time she went to hyperspace, the speckles in her eyes.
Oh, all of it. Just I'm a sucker for attention to detail. I love shows that take the time to, make the little things important, and Bad Batch so far, particularly with the animation, all credit to the team, like really sensational work.
It's beautiful storyline. We've all agreed that the storyline is pretty much, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
But the overall, each episode and has been pretty well played out, and I like the fact that they're sticking to something. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but my original notion was, that they were going to be the bad guys, like I said earlier. But at the same time, they're kind of showing a little bit of that now that we're getting later into the thing. And I don't want to spoil nothing, so I'm not going to say too much. People that have seen it's going to know what I'm talking about by the things that they're doing. They're pretty much at a point where they got to do whatever they can to survive. And
a transition,
They need to have credits, and they're willing to take the stuff to get the credits that they need to be able to survive. I also like the fact of the other characters that they're bringing in. I'm not going to tell you who it is, Charlie, but there's been several characters that they have brought into it, the later episodes. I'm really excited to see where they take it with these other characters.
I'll go ahead and spoil one thing. Moochie.
Yeah, I would have never thought that was. I thought it was an actual person. I didn't know it was the Rancor.
Well, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but yes, Moochie is a Rancor, but that is a character that was reintroduced in episode 7.
I didn't realize he had a name. Aww.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, running down that rabbit hole a little bit, everybody right now that doesn't know this, that hasn't got to watch all the episodes, I'm going to tell you right now, when you get to watch it, it is not the Rancor that was killed in Jabba's palace.
Yes, it is too.
Oh, it is not.
It is.
It's not.
Oh shoot! The Twi'lek who is his major doma, Jabba's major doma, Bib Fortuna. Yes, that is the same Rancor.
It's not. The Rancor's name in that is not Moochie. It's Pascacora or something like that. It's not.
You heard it here first, guys. Our first disagreement.
Well, because something
the two kind of neutral parties.
Something I read was the Pascacora was the type of Rancor it was, but that the name was Moochie. So I mean, I very well could be wrong. That was just something I read about a week ago on some. I might find it out on that website.
The two Star Wars Titans are facing off.
Oh, I'm not a Titan. I'm just a fan. Not a Titan.
I don't know anything about that.
Because I thought the Rancor's name from Return of the Jedi was like Patiza, something with a P, isn't it?
Yeah, it starts with a P. I can't remember what the name is, but yeah. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah,
it was just
I'm doing the same thing now. Google Wars.
Go.
But yeah, it's
And isn't the Rancor in Bad Batch a female?
Okay, so it does say that it's Patisa,
Yeah.
but
It's not the same one because,
maybe Moochie was a pet name for it.
or maybe Moochie was the parent of it. This is the thing.
Yeah, what is a Rancor lifespan?
Somebody made a short film a few years back, and it described the where the actual Rancor came from that was killed in Jabba's palace. How some kid raised this thing, and then they raised this Rancor, and then the kid gave it to Jabba. And the caretakers came and got him, and the Rancor was like friendly towards people that it knew. And his name, I can't remember what the name of it was. It was like Pascal, something, whatever the Rancor is. Moochie was, and we don't know if there wasn't multiple Rancors. We just know the one.
Now they're saying here on Wikipedia that Patina was from Legends, so maybe it's the same one just Legends versus canon now. Don't know, maybe anyone?
The day that episode came out, it just flooded the internet with Moochie was the one killed in Return of the Jedi, and there was a whole bunch of posts. But I read an article. I actually read in the comments, and then I looked into it, and basically even not the same rank. It wasn't.
Ew.
Okay, and
Now
here,
this is going
and
on
here,
something that I read that somebody else posted, so we don't know if that's the truth or not. But from what it said on Wikipedia, because they brought up the Wikipedia thing, and they got different names. One was supposed to be a female, one was a male, and but that doesn't mean. You gotta understand, Jabba also had multiple palaces, and he probably had the same thing set up in more than one of his palaces. So,
Yeah.
I was told I'm supposed to believe everything I read on the internet. Huh. Okay.
But like I said, it was off of somebody else's post, so I'm not, per thing. But they showed the Wikipedia thing, and then they go through and they explain why and like all this different stuff. And then they said that they had heard that Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, I can't remember which one it was now, they said it wasn't the same Rancor. I don't know why people are so upset that the Rancor that Luke killed was Moochie, even if it was. Like, why would you be upset about that? Luke was supposed to kill it. It was going to eat him.
well, now, in a book,
that would have made a very short movie. Rescue Han, eaten.
in the Return of the Jedi book, though, Luke did give another reason for killing the Rancor, and he had said it was because it was so malnourished and abused and stuff like that it couldn't be released safely back out into a community because it was so screwed up in the head because of how badly it had been abused.
Guys, we're going to get Peter on our backs if we're not careful.
It's gonna happen regardless. We're gonna get haters regardless. They're gonna come on here. Y'all don't know anything. I got told the other day on an Instagram post or a TikTok post, one of the two, I got told that I wasn't a Star Wars fan. I said, huh?
I said, huh?
I was like, what? I'm not a Star Wars fan? How am I not a Star Wars fan? Like, really? I mean, I usually don't reply to people that say stuff on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. I just put down what, and then just put question marks after it, like a whole bunch, and they didn't ever even hit me back. So I don't know, what are you talking about?
I said, come say that to my lightsaber.
I have several.
Oh, yeah, me too. I have several. Come tell me then. But I'm like, okay, really? Like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so we're gonna get haters. You guarantee that. Somebody's gonna say these people are idiots. They don't know anything about Star Wars, and we don't. But it's okay.
I mean, I don't. Who knows?
I've listened and read most of the books, and I love the movies. But when it comes to video games, I don't know. I ain't played the video game.
See, that's where I might get it. That's where we got the different perspectives.
There we go.
We got kind of like the younger generation. I'm not that much younger. But.
And honestly, I think I maybe read 6 of the Vader comics, and I was like, dude, I can't read this. This is
they're so good.
I have a very bad problem reading
so we have a good
I have a very bad. I like reading books. I don't like reading comics because they got pictures in them, and it messes with my imagination. I want to imagine what's happening. I don't want to see what's happening.
You don't like being told.
Yeah, it's like they're telling me this is what's happening. Like, no, I wanted to imagine that in my head. I think I could have made it better.
Well, it's the true Sith power. You see what I want you to see.
So I don't I didn't like it. So I'm not a real big into comics. But when it comes to the books and when it comes to the movies, and I'm one of those people that I hate when people say, oh, cartoons are for children. Well, I'm a 43-year-old child then because I like to watch the cartoon. I watch all of the cartoons. I even watched the old cartoon that came on 100 years ago. I like those. You know, if it's Star Wars, I like it. Like certain books, if it doesn't capture my attention, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to read it. I'm one of those people, if I start reading and it's not really catchy, I will fall asleep. It has to keep me entertained. So I like to listen to the books. I like to read the books because I want to use my own imagination. I don't want nobody to tell me. So that's one of my biggest problem with the comic.
I'll send you the link. I'll email you the link and anybody else that wants it too. But I highly advise finishing the Darth Vader comics on YouTube. There's a guy that does vids of the comics and also voices of stuff. And in like 1-2 hour vid on YouTube is the entire 25 comic arc of Darth Vader. It's really good.
Oh, good. I'm only a recent convert to comics as well, and just
I might have to check that out.
If you want me to, I'll email you the link.
We should hit him up and see if we can get him on the show.
Ha!
I would like to talk to him.
Absolutely. I can reach out and see what we get.
Yeah, send that email to me as well, please.
I can. Charlie, you want it in case?
Yeah, go ahead.
That way, I mean, if nothing else, you can listen to it in the background while you're doing 14 other things at the same time. But yeah, it's like you said, it's so good.
That's just my opinion on the comics, but like the books, especially because when I go to work and stuff like that, I'll go to work and I'll just listen to the books all day. That's mostly what I do. I just listen to books. I've listened to, I think, 276 Star Wars books, somewhere around there. As many as I could get audio. Every audio book that has a Star Wars audio book, I have it. I might not have listened to it yet, but I have it. That's like my biggest thing. That's why I gave away in my other podcast, I gave away an Audible subscription because I have one and I'm quick to get every Star Wars book that comes out. That is my bread and butter. I can't get through a day of work without listening to a Star Wars.
I'm with you. I'll go ahead and send you both. I'll send you all three the link. Although, Kyle, I'll go ahead and tell you that you're going to be disappointed who it's by, and you probably won't want this person on the show. Just that should clue you in on who it is, but it's done really well.
We'll get him on the show. He'll come on. We'll talk to him shit. All
right. But yeah, I'll get that out to you guys here in the next little bit. But
I probably wouldn't hit him up now after only our first episode. You know?
Yeah.
Like, people got one podcast, want me to come on there. Who they think I am? I'm famous.
Right.
How famous you are, you?
We're going to leave that alone. So let's see here. We talked about Carrie Fisher, Luke's X-Wing. We went down a few rabbit holes, Bad Batch. Anything else going on in the galaxy?
I don't have anything else to talk about today. Anybody else have anything?
No.
I mean, we got a lot more for coming episodes, so
yeah, I worry that I'll just keep talking, and then 6 hours later.
This is true. All right. Well.
I guess then we'll.
Does anybody have anything they want to plug?
Oh yeah.
Me. Hello, over here. I'm a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for about 2 years now. I cosplay Rey. You can find more of me and my cosplay at Running Back to Jakku on Instagram. Thanks.
Okay.
Follow me. Give me attention.
Charlie.
Oh, I do have TikTok. Both of them are under the same username, Running Back to Jakku.
And everything, we'll make sure that we put everything in the show notes. So I'll put.
Please follow me. I'm desperate. Please, I'm desperate.
Her stuff is wonderful. That's how we found her, because we was like, oh man, this is.
Yeah, and she surprisingly looks a lot like Rey, so definitely follow her. It's crazy similar.
It's uncanny how close she is in the resemblance to Rey.
Except she's too tall for some reason. I mean, come on, Charlie, do something about that, will you?
Yeah, I need to shrink.
Yeah.
And then I'll be.
Let's see here. So ways that people can interact with us. We are Lightsaber Radio on Facebook. We are at Lightsaber Radio on the Tweeter machine. And of course, we have an email where you can reach out to us. Tell us that we're good. Tell us that we suck. Tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. Or if you have any ideas or suggestions, you can email us at lightsaberradio@gmail.com.
And if you want to follow me or follow any one of us, we all have Instagrams or Twitters, right?
Yep. All my stuff is under Star Wars Audio Archive on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, any of that stuff. And that's about it.
All right, and to everyone, thank you for listening to us. We will do it better next time, or not. But come for the Star Wars. Stay for the funny. It's going to be funny. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be thought provoking. You might rage. You might love it. Whatever. Just come back and listen some more. And everybody have an amazing afternoon.
May the Force be with you.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. They're linked in the show notes below. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pick Film Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Charlie Harwood, Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Carl McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.